All right, I see your stream. Yeah, they had I think they need to push a patch this next week. They've had some issues with I think Sippy causing some client crashes and locks. So I think they're going to be addressing that this next week. Oh, that that's probably your system. What happens when Sippy crashes the client is the client just locks and you can't continue to play your cards or your turns, and it locks for both players. Yeah, pretty much all you can do is concede, and generally you wanna find the player you're playing against on Discord and try and do like a coin flip, or unless one person is super far ahead. Uh, yeah, it's been up and down. The last 2 days have been a little rough. We were at rank 130, so we're in Diamond 1, but we hit a losing streak the last 2 sessions, and we've dropped over 100 rank. So we're in Diamond 3 right now, but it doesn't take much to come back from that. It should be fine.
Add a few.
Yeah, and you can actually get some pretty good deals in the OpenSea market right now if you're patient. But I still would recommend looking at a bond as an option. Yeah, it's for Paragon's DAO, which I'm a part of. It's 20% of your Prime earnings. 10% goes to the Parallel Prime Sync, and 10% goes to the Paragon's DAO. So it's very reasonable when you consider that in Splinterlands as a comparison, you pay Xbot or Archmage probably like 30% or more of your SPS earnings in Splinterlands, and you don't get free cards from them. So it's very reasonable. Oh, Adira, you mean? Mhm. Yeah, treacherous scheming. You probably need like three of those to be competitive right now. I've got some extras, Steve, so we can chat offline if you need some. We can work that out. Mhm. But yeah, I mean, what by joining a bond, I mean, you could pick up a full Earthen deck or a full Marco deck, and then basically you could switch between your deck that you play with Shroud and switch to something else, um, if you wanted to, because you can pretty much the guidelines for Paragons. I only borrow like a handful of cards, like maybe like six or less. Really, is all I need right now for my Cathari. It's really all I only need one, really. But um, they basically say you can borrow up to two decks worth, so up to 80 cards, without having issues usually. But I mean, that's pretty nice. I mean, you can. I mean, having multiple decks to be able to play competitively from an NFT perspective is it's a pretty big deal. So
Yeah, that's one thing that would be kind of interesting about looking into the bond thing, and then also I'd be able to more talk about it if I'm going to do more parallel streaming, because I don't really know. Um, exactly how that would work or what I would add in. And a little shout out to DeFizz who came by to check it out and listen to us talk, because the I was just sitting there. I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to try to take one out just to make my Shroud deck a little bit better because it's relatively competitive, at least in Platinum.
mhm.
So I'm like, if I could get like one of your decks that seem to be very, very competitive up until probably Diamond, then that would be kind of interesting because it would actually put me up a place, let me earn more to where I'd be more willing to give 20% away. But at the same time, I just don't know for sure what the
Yeah, I
best
mean, when you
move is.
consider you earn double the prime, like if you're in gold right now and you can be earning in platinum, it's actually you pretty much double your prime earnings every step of the way. So when you go from gold to platinum, you double your earnings. When you go from platinum to diamond, you double your earnings. So you're basically 4xing your earnings and giving up 20%. So 4x versus a point 0.2, I mean, it's a no-brainer from an earnings perspective. Plus, it's just funner to play with, better cards, and then with those earnings that you're getting, you can then go buy the cards that you're missing and then work your way out of the bond if you don't want to stay in the bond. So it's pretty nice. Um, I think it's a great option for those that don't want to spend money in parallel and just want to give it a try but still earn. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because the bond system, I have to admit, it's not something I hear many people talk about besides you,
Mhm.
um, in the parallel ecosystem. And so I wonder, at this point, in your opinion, is it kind of like if people were joining now, would they find bonds pretty easy because they're kind of underutilized in the system?
Um, I think, I mean, a lot of players are using the bond program. So I don't think it's underutilized per se. Um, yeah, I don't know why more people don't talk about it, but um, yeah, I mean, there's just players that have more cards than they have time, so it's just a way for them to passively earn. It's basically like in Splinterlands, how you'd rent your cards out. This is basically just done through a guild bond program instead. Um, and it's honestly, I think, a little bit better, as long as the bond has enough cards for all the bond members. You don't want to join a bond and then you're you have no cards that are useful to you, because then that kind of defeats the purpose of joining the bond. So you have to kind of do your research and make sure you're, joining a good bond. But from what I understand, most of the bonds that are accepting players and are going to let you in have the cards and want you to play with them because they don't earn anything passively unless players are playing with their cards and using them. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So the idea here is, are most of the bonds done guild wise? So it's like one big collection, maybe a few people put together, and then gets rented out to people,
yeah,
or
basically you have a bunch of whales come together and they pool their assets into the bond, and then basically you can either join a bond to borrow assets or you can join a bond as like a lender of assets. And again, you get the people that lend their assets as part of a bond. only get passive earnings when their assets are used by players. So those people that bring the meta cards and the rare cards to the bond are going to get, their cards utilized first and get, you know, um, the best returns, basically, or the more steady um, income from that. And I can show you maybe on screen. I can show you, for example, like the bond cycle renews on Tuesday morning in the US. I can kind of show you, give you a glimpse of what um like Paragons has available right now is just cards that are not even used in this cycle. So you can kind of see what's available. Now it changes every week because people don't renew cards, they change what they're using. But we could look at Shroud here and see what's like if you were to join, tomorrow to Paragons, you could see kind of like what cards you would have available to be able to take advantage of. I can show you that I think on my Twitch stream. Let me see how I can do that easily. Give me a second.
So when you say join, you mean join the guild, and at this point, are those guilds are still outside of the game, right?
No,
It's like, are they actually
they're
in the game at this point?
they're not in the game like Splinterlands guilds are in the game. The Bond protocol is supported by the game in the Echelon Foundation and through Sanctuary, which is the official kind of like technology and integration to Parallel for the bonds. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get to
This
a
Catherine deck is
screen.
picking on me. Those little one drops that let you just go get vehicles are just so annoyingly good.
Sorry, I don't have a good capture screen here. Let me just take this frame off.
I usually do better against these Catherine decks, but she sure found a way to just zerg the board.
Let me know if you can. Let me know if you can see that on Twitch, Steve.
I can now. Yeah, you were on Splinterland stuff before, but
All right. So basically, we can filter by Universal and Shroud, and anything anything that has, for some reason, the graphics aren't showing up here. But anything, there's 81 pages that we could filter here. That's just Universal and Shroud cards that you can borrow from. And you can see it, the cycle resets in 1 day and 11 hours. They have 195, over 195,000 cards in assets, cosmetics and other things. So you can see here, we'll just scroll through here and see what's available at this point.
oh my dad.
So Salvation, Leonid's Barge is available. It's a legendary.
Yeah, there's a bummer. Do the images normally load, and this is just kind of a.
They do. It's for whatever reason it's not showing it. I'm not sure why. Cyrene, Trophy Hunter, Universal Legendary is available. Ingrid, Universal Legendary. Let's see. See what some meta cards would be. Collateral damage for
gold, but I just got beat up by that Catherine deck.
So yeah, collateral damage. You got your starter cards, your honored stewards, your fanatical crewmans, singularity stewards.
Yeah, I have all of those. I have my erasures. I have a lot of my Shroud stuff. The only things I don't have are a lot of the stuff that came out in the last set, right?
Yeah,
Because
Planetfall.
yeah, and it's mostly because those cards were not really buyable on base, and I didn't want to go buy them on Ethereum.
Mhm.
Um, and now I think some of them are starting to come out on base, but I don't know if all of them have made it into the base ecosystem yet.
Yep. Well, you can like get this Memento of the Fallen as an example, Legendary Universal upgrade. It's like a $200 or $300 card. You can add that if you wanted to. Um, let's see, I'm trying to find uh
So if you join you have to join these people's Discord and then get signed up some way, and then you can
um
go through here and pick the cards that you would like that are available, or is
yeah,
it how
basically
like
once you're a member, once you are admitted, you can just every week pick which cards you want to borrow for the week from the bond. So you just have to fill out an application and yeah, so you can get let's see, I'm trying to see what's left here. You'd want to get in at so you get mercenary gunslingers here.
yeah I've got gunslingers.
Bora, Bora's a legendary shroud,
Yeah.
wielder of rage. Let's see. So we're only on page 29 of 81. So there's still stuff here. Cunning diplomats. Not everyone has those. Got Freitas, universal legendary. Um,
Which card is Cunning Diplomat again?
it's a 0/3 defender that draws a card.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have one of those. I don't run it anymore. After I got the Planetfall cards, I took it out and put in some of those cards.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see what cards you might use for Shroud here. Looks like Shroud's pretty popular. A lot of people seem to have borrowed most of the Shroud cards.
I imagine the cards I want too are going to be popular cards because they're from that second set that only came out on Ethereum. They're older, and so um, it's kind of an interesting thing.
So you can get a Baron. You can get the legendary Baron Squire, the Battle Pass card, the 2 mana, 2/4 that does the free spells or effects. So you can get him for free.
Oh, okay, I
Um,
see. Like I don't have him, and a lot of people run him in Shroud. But you know what? It might let me do. It might let me get the cards to where I could run the other Shroud deck because I'm still playing New Dawn. Oh, I have to hurry up and
Instead
do
of
something.
Neve, yeah. You get
Yeah.
Void Runners here. Void Runners are the 2 mana, 2/1. Not everyone has those. Black Market Fixers, the 4 cost 2/2. Crew Boss, the 5 drop +1/+1. Let's see. Unseen Allies, Sacred Siphoners, Power Instructors.
Oh, that PSA launchers. That'd be interesting because I only run one.
Mhm.
Because I only have one FE, so that would be a card I
Here's
can
here's
add
now
in
here's the
maybe.
Planetfall cards. So they've got Aspiring Stewards, Brand's Honor Guard, Call the Corrupted, Chaos Rift, Corrupted Monolith. These are all the Planetfall cards. Covert Assimilator, Cruel Controller, Essence Shift, Marionette Mastery. Oh, they actually have Neve's Dominion here. That's like a $50 card. That's actually a really good one. See how many they have. They just have one right now.
What does that do
So
again?
Dominion's the card for Neve where it costs 1 energy to
Oh, and
cast,
then
and then anything
it,
below
it's
that it kills.
it's like the
It's a
turn
board
three
wipe.
or four mini board wipe,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Yeah, that
yeah.
card is one that I wouldn't mind having. Even but do you have to run Neve to run that card?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Neve
Okay.
only.
Yeah.
They
See,
have
but that's
Stolen
one of the
Power.
cards I would need for a Neve deck. I don't have that card. I don't have. She really usually runs the 5 drop 2 that does that, and the
Adira.
Baron. So
Yeah.
those are the kind of stuff that I'm missing at this point.
Yeah, and you could also get Stolen Power here. It's the three cost 4 damage banish planetfall card. Um, they've got Alvaro Interrogators, which are really good against the Shroud Mirror match. Does 3 damage every time you play an effect.
Yeah, people play
Um,
that against me. I don't run it. It's an so you in your opinion that's um a good play.
uh, it hurts you as a Shroud player because then your effects do damage to yourself. But
Oh, do they
if
have
you,
the little artifact destroying dude?
yeah, collateral, well, they have collateral damage, which is the effect, the 2 cost effect.
Yeah, I
I
have
haven't
one
seen
of
the,
those, but saboteurs.
yeah, they usually have those. Let me see. I haven't seen them yet, but we're only on 60. So they
Yeah,
have
because
the trusty belt, which is the upgrade that lets you attack twice. So you put that on a Void Keeper, and you can banish 2 units a turn and draw 2 cards a turn per Void Keeper. That's a really good card.
I guess if they had more
Um,
void keepers, I might put a second one in the deck. I only got the one. I mean, for one of the first times ever, I didn't win an SC of the.
well, they haven't drawn that yet.
Oh, they have it, so I still have a shot.
No,
It's
you still have a
funny
shot.
because I out of like my 3 or 4 of the things, I've won that a couple times already.
Yeah, I mean that's another nice benefit that the game gives you just for playing and participating.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean the I have to admit, like the value of the cards, it has been surprisingly low. Um, so I have thought about doing some shopping for some of the other decks, but the really important ones are always really expensive. It's like, which I'm used to that. Splinterlands is that way too. Um, like I had one of those artifacts that give the Cathari +1/+1, but I sold it for
mhm,
like $130 or something. And
mhm.
I'm like, oh, now if I'd want to try to build that deck, I'd have to go rebuy the like you need 3 of those, right, or at least 2.
Yeah, you'd
How
want
many
two
do
or
you
three.
run?
I run
And
3.
you run 3, yeah. I
Mhm.
feel like maybe you could get away with 2. Your deck might not be as good, but I mean, I just don't know. Like, I'm interested to watch you play mostly to see who beats you and how. Because
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Lemmy right now, Diamond 1, so it's probably going to be a probably a vehicle heavy Lemmy, or it could be Swarm, but I mean, Kathy is usually a Swarm deck right now, and ADHQ is vehicle heavy, so I'm not sure what they're bringing here with Lemmy. We'll see
sometimes
what they.
Lemmy decks are the same as Kathy. They just prefer Lemmy's uh, ability to come in and help you do like almost like a little board wipe.
Mhm.
At least that's how I feel. That I've been running into. They both seem kind of similar right now. They just run a lot of vehicles, a lot of that one drop that summons in those vehicles to their
Yeah, the
hand.
Crimson Fleet
So
Machinist.
yeah, so they always just have hands full of characters and they keep dropping them out. It's quite annoying.
Yeah, we don't really have a great starting hand here.
Huh, that's an interesting card to come out on the board.
GM Kenzord, welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Canada as well. Sorry I missed your chat earlier. We've got Steve R82 joining us on the stream. He's co-streaming. He's streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on Twitch, and we're chatting parallel. And Steve's, you're not a newer player to parallel, but you're probably not what maybe a super serious player at this point. Is that pretty fair?
Yeah, yeah. So you got me in when they put the starter decks on sale. I made a small investment into buying one of each of the starter decks, which gave me kind of a mix of neutral cards and whatnot to be able to play with. And then I went ahead and uh, skipped the next set because I was pretty disappointed in the game. And this is when I kind of tuned out because they basically, in my opinion, made a very critical mistake. And, I don't know if everyone would agree with me on this, but they they released that next set, and instead of doing it on base chain, they did it on Ethereum, and you had to use ETH. And this was right after they had let you buy those starter sets
On
on
base.
base. So I put some Ethereum on base. I was all ready to, you know, participate, be a player in the game, spend some money on that next set when it came out. And then I was like, oh, now I'm going to have to move this money back to Ethereum in order to do that.
Yeah,
It
that
was,
was just, it was kind of like a half pregnant time for Parallel because they were migrating the technology from Ethereum mainnet to base. So now Planetfall, all the Planetfall support packs and stuff are available on base now. So that was probably what, like last, like spring,
yeah, it was a long
last
time
fall.
ago. And,
It's like a year, over a year
I
ago.
kept playing the game, but I would skip days. It didn't become a priority. The game got really difficult for me to win, because the new set of cards came in, and it just made my. Luckily, since I've been playing New Dawn. New Dawn was still competitive back then. Erasure is a card that can help you deal with the fact that they have awesome creatures because you just get rid of the guy.
Mhm.
And that was before. Nowadays, I feel like shields are much more prevalent than they used to be.
Yeah.
Um, so it's one of those cases where I could still win. I could still do okay. Um, but it prevented me from investing more into the game. Is really what it did. So I just sat with that Ethereum on base. I actually bought a little bit of that silly Brett token, which worked out because I'm up like 3x on my little $100 investment I put into it.
Nice.
Um, but the yeah, I mean overall, I just waited, and luckily the game did enough to get me to kind of come and pay attention to it again when it was um, releasing the next set, because they were releasing it on base. The Prime token had shown me that it was holding its value good enough. Not that it was like incredible. It had gone down, but I mean, it always like it hit an okay floor, right? And
Mhm.
I got in right around. I got a really good time back into Prime to buy my Planetfall packs because I bought the Prime when it was like $8 or so.
Mhm.
Um, Bought my packs, did pretty good with my packs, was able to sell a few of the legendary cards, got back probably half of what I spent to get my packs, and then I still have a bunch of cards um, that are pretty decent. So overall, I'm feeling better now. I'm playing it. I do feel like though, like as someone that does invest in games and thinks about games, what they ended up doing also made me sit out of the avatars, and the time will tell whether or not that was a yay, you made me miss, or darn. And right now it's a little bit of a darn, but until that game actually comes out, I don't know how much of a miss that was, because
Mhm.
they are worth a lot right now. But what do you feel about that one?
Um, I wish I had more avatars. I got lucky and actually won two avatars, but yeah, I mean they were up over 4,400 just like a week ago. I'm not sure what they are today, but yeah, I mean I think they're only going to go up in value, honestly, is my opinion, but you know, take that for whatever it's worth.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
they're
know,
they're an AI agent that's going to be used in a genre-defining game that's going to be released in Q1 here in the height of the AI agent narrative. So, you know, it's uh it's just the start. I mean, they're going to continue, I think, to add utility as well to the avatars moving forward. So oops, I just think it's a good asset to have right now.
yeah, yeah. You know, it's definitely appearing to be a pretty good asset to have bought. Because what did they sell for recently? Originally,
Well, they
I
were
forget.
like probably about a month ago. They were selling for point 0.3 ETH, and the floor was over 1 ETH like a couple days ago. I'm not sure what it is right now. So that's like almost a 4x in a month.
Yeah.
So you can get them for
So
like $900 basically, and they went up to over 4,400. So
yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like just as expensive enough of an NFT right now that I didn't pull the trigger. Um, I haven't bought an Eloise yet because she was up near that price, and I'm like I can only probably buy like $1,000 thing right now with the crypto I'm willing to maybe move around, and at
I would definitely
they just
recommend an
weren't there.
avatar over Heloise. That would be a no-brainer in
well,
my
well,
opinion.
yeah, but now it's a lot different, right? Eloise went down to like the 650 ish to 850, and they went
Mhm.
up from the 900 to 4,000. So all of a sudden, I'm a little priced out, but we'll see. Ooh, I'm fighting one of the guys that is your deck, but we'll see if he has the cards or not. It's kind of funny when you play these guys because they're either like really legit and have all the cards, or they're just doing their best to copy it.
Mhm.
So, I don't think I need a no stitching. That little 3 drop. I don't know how many times I feel like I'm winning, and then that little card comes and just makes me cry. Oh, what a terrible pull! I'm gonna get rolled on for sure. And I had 2 mulligans. Wow, this is bad. If he has his artifact turn 2, it's gonna be trouble. Oh no. What is that? I haven't seen that before. Oh, the recruiter. No, I have seen that. Okay. Interesting. What do I do here? Bank that. I'm gonna just play him, I think. This is a rough matchup all the time, though. Oh, he. Oh, yeah. Interesting. The little 2-2-1. I mean 2 drop, the 1-4. The support vehicles. Those have
Mhm.
been so helpful against the other Cathari deck. But I mean, yeah, this is just ridiculous. Turn 3, he's got out 2-2, a 1-1, a 1-3, a 1-2, and a 3-2. It's pretty wild. Pretty
Yeah,
wild.
Zippy can build some pretty big boards.
The craziest thing also too is I'm gonna erase a lot of this board right now, and he can the ability to rebuild it is
Yeah,
just mind boggling to me.
it is strong. Let me just say hi to Cap here. Hello, Cap. Hello, Skeeter. Welcome, welcome. We've got Steve joining us here. He's streaming on YouTube, his screen on Parallel. And welcome to the stream, guys. Yeah, that
I
ASV is really nice in the mirror match for Shroud, just because you get the shield. Dropping shield on your units is really nice. How do you feel about your aftermath pack purchases, Steve? I think you made out actually really well
Yeah,
with
no,
the
I think I
Colts.
made out really, really good, to be honest. I got like 6 legendary cards. I was able to sell a couple of them, and a couple of my natural language cards to pretty much get all of my money back, are well over half of the Ethereum that I spent to get the Prime.
Mhm.
So, um, if I were to sell a few more of the cards, and I could get all my money back, and then you just get all these other cards to mix into your deck for free, and some of them are just amazing, little cards to use at different times. Wow, that was so
Yeah,
annoying.
absolutely.
I took him down to one card, and now he's back up to four. But it's like I don't have the firepower to do that again. Okay, let's see here. What do I do here?
Welcome to the stream, Jeremy. It's going well, going well. We're getting our battles in starting early for today. And by the way, congratulations on your award win yesterday for the 2024, I believe it was Creator of the Year, or was it Streamer of the Year? I forget which one, but, but definitely well deserved. And Jeremy's asking you, Steve, if you're looking to sell any of your Aftermath stuff. He's looking to buy some. So,
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple cards that I listed, but I need to go check values again. It'd be hard for me to talk about stuff because I don't really remember it that well. Um, I'm just gonna ding you for one. We'll see if that was the right move or not. Ugh. I couldn't believe how he put out like a pretty good turn on turn three, and I killed all of it. I felt so
and
proud.
rebuilt it.
And he just rebuilt it, all of it, the very next turn. It's amazing that he had those same cards in his hand, though.
Yeah, but he's got no cards left now, right? I think
Yeah,
I
we'll
see.
see. I mean, he might, I might be, but I don't have much left either, though. So we'll see. And look there, he just hit his artifact too. So
Mm.
that's interesting.
Yeah, I can connect you to Jeremy on Discord. I can get you set up with the chat.
Okay, this is gonna be rough. All right, so I definitely want to get rid of him, and then I get to draw a card. Oh, I messed up. Darn it, I hate it when I make mistakes.
I streamed earlier today and I made so many mistakes. I was like, it's uh it's time to stop streaming because we're not playing well.
Yeah, I mean, I just should have put out my Stewart so he'd be a 4-5 going into the next turn instead of a 2-4. So, it's not like the end of the world, but.
Yeah, and actually, if you're looking right now, Steve, the pricing on Void Keeper is really, really good because people, I think they took the snapshots. They haven't done I think the distributions or the mints yet, but I think it was down to like the offers were down to like $2 or something like that for a Void Keeper. And when I run Neve, I actually run three Void Keepers because they're rares and you can run three of them. And I'm fine running that many of them, honestly. It's a really nice card. And for like $2, you can't go wrong for a rare.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely a really cool card. I try to like. Do you think that it's an auto replacement of the Honored Steward?
no, it's not an auto replacement honor steward. Because honored stewards can't banish paragons now, you still want to probably run two ish in like a Neve deck, generally speaking, because the ability for them to take out things like Terramech Titans and other things that are just hard to get rid of otherwise. But you I mean, I personally in the Neve deck that I run two Honored Stewards and three Void Keepers, but it's because I don't have like an Adira and all the Neve Dominions I need. But yeah, I mean, it's not a replace, it's kind of a use with, if that makes sense. Yeah, Skeeter's saying everything is overpriced. Buy it now. Yeah. Uh, well, I mean, for Aftermath, cards are definitely overpriced because there's just no supply at the moment, really. Let's see, we're kind of in a bad spot here. I mean, we can't remove that, that silly
Oh,
Bannerman.
that was actually kind of a clutch little draw there. I should have put this guy. Oh no, wait!
Yes.
I just messed up. Oh my god, I messed up again. If I die right now, it's going to be because I just made another silly mistake. But we'll see. Oh, I thought I was dead, but that's a triumph of a Europa. That's going to be bad too. But oh wow, he can only play 2 guys out of that. Do you get your musters when you triumph?
Yes.
Oh man, that's broken.
And they just keep building that board right back, right?
Yeah, I made a huge mistake last turn. I could have killed one more of his characters, um, which would have been really helpful for me. I mean, he still would have
Mhm.
triumphed and done all this silliness that he's doing.
They did a rally cry and got 2 Bannermen. Jeez. Um, I guess we're just trying to go wide here. I don't even know.
That was
A mess.
surprising. I guess he's not confident. Maybe he doesn't run kill box. How is he making those? I'm so confused. Oh, he did make a thing. Okay. Just was there was a lot of lag in between. I can't believe how many characters he has out on the board. That is so wild.
Just don't show Jeremy what you have on your board there because he's looking for one of those to buy. The rummaging researcher.
Oh yeah, I've only got one of him, so I don't know. He wasn't on my list of stuff to necessarily sell. But oh man, what a terrible top deck too. I don't even know. Can I do anything to not die next turn? Intriguing. I don't think I can. Huh. Yeah, I'm dead. I could kill that thing. I could bank this because it's not that helpful. Then I can play him. And do this. And just for fun, before I die, I can play my take it or leave it and throw out a crewman, but then I'm dead.
I'm not doing much better here, Steve.
Well, I
It's a
won
rough
two
day.
games. I won 2 games before that, but I seem to just like every time I make it into platinum, so I could start making more tokens, I lose and get knocked back down to gold. So it's like, oh, I want 5 wins in platinum tonight. I don't want 5 wins in gold.
Yeah, it's you
Oh,
can almost switch to like an AP deck to climb if you have the time into platinum and try and roll the dice once you're there on your earnings with an NFT deck.
yeah. I've heard that. like, but I don't have a good AP deck built to do that. Well, I guess I could see if I could build your deck AP or not.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I would. I mean, the rare relics are cheap. They're only like I think 600 scrap, or I don't know, maybe 1600 scrap. It's not a lot. Um, it's definitely buildable because there's very few legendaries that you need.
it's so funny how that guy who'd been pretty much ignored has become the meta.
Sippy, you mean? The
Yeah,
Kathari?
yeah.
Um,
To me, I never saw Sippies.
he wasn't ignored. He just, with the nerf to Naeus, he just became the de facto Cathari Paragon, basically, in the current meta.
Yeah, until that other one got nerfed, though, nobody played him. In my, at least not that I saw.
There was a meta with Sippy previously, but I definitely the nerf to Danaeus, I think, had a pretty pretty much everyone shifted across all levels of the game for league levels at that point. And I
I'm
have nothing in
playing
my waste. I have nothing
a
in my waste.
shroud, but whenever I'm playing the shroud where they're using the original, I always wonder what they're running.
I just did a triumph and I didn't get anything. Oh my goodness.
Man, I wouldn't think that was even possible in your collection of cards.
No. Sometimes you roll high and sometimes you roll low. What did I burn? I burned a Triumph and a kill box.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good. I think it's GG's here.
So the Kathy Swarm deck, you have a problem with it. Looks like, huh? She can just
No,
outswarm you.
not usually. I just have drawn really poorly.
Gotcha.
It's usually not a problem. Actually, right now, if I had to pick the deck that from a Marco perspective that it worries me the most, it would be ADHQ, which is the armor division. Um, that's just my personal opinion. I think it's probably the best counter to Sippy that Marco has right now.
The armored division.
Armor division HQ.
What does that thing do?
They just can bring a lot of battle ready and a lot of armed units, which allows them to maintain board control against Sippy. And then it gets them to turn 6 and turn 7 when they can bring in things like the Victory and Earthshaker cannons and other things that just wrap up the game at that point. So if you can control the board where Sippy can't, even though it builds back, it can't um, actually attack. And that's what armed units and battle ready units do basically. And then plus they get all the buffs on their vehicles, shields or health or whatever happens to be the random du jour, term du jour thing. It just they're pretty fast. So I would like if I was playing in a tournament and I had a choice to battle ADHQ or Kathy. If generally speaking with the lists that are competitive right now, I'd probably pick Kathy. Is who I'd rather face personally.
I understand that.
I'd have to show you a couple games with ADHQ. Um, because the units that they use, um, you're probably not seeing in gold and platinum, but it's I think it's probably starting to gain popularity in the last 2 weeks, I would say.
I have played a couple. Oh, what did he just play? Oh wow, he just played a Sacred Destruction on my card. That was kind of annoying.
Other than the last one, Cap, how are the games going? Good. We've won, I think, all the games we've streamed besides that last one at this point. So I think we're like 2-1, if I recall. I don't know exactly, but I think we've won two and lost one.
I think I'm 2-2 in my games so far,
Nice.
and this one's looking like I'll probably win.
Yeah, it's
I
a mirror match
think.
there.
Yeah, it's a mirror match, and most of the time when I play mirror matches, they don't have as good cards. Yeah, he gave up, as I do. Yeah,
Mhm.
because just like a few weeks ago, I went, and I was able to pick up another, and there was silly cards that just made my deck so much better. But a third siphon, a third erasure, um, and then a couple other cards. All right, so we're back in platinum. Now, can we win a game in platinum? Can I not
Nice. Back in
immediately, as
platinum's
soon
good.
as I get to platinum, have to fight Sippy?
Yeah, pretty much. So
Oh, I
Skeeter,
gotta. I'm playing a brand. I've been seeing this a little bit more recently. I can usually beat it with New Dawn unless I get a very bad pool.
Peter, did you DM me on X? Or you DM Jeremy on X? Um, Jeremy says that he's having fun using ADHQ. Yeah, it's a fun list. It's definitely different. I mean, it hadn't been used for a long time, I don't think. And okay, okay, gotcha. And Skeeter saying that ADHQ can fall so flat, but he likes it still. Nice. So here we have to worry about a Dominion on uh on basically turn two. Because we have basically stuff that can, I don't have a no snitching, and you hate to play a gamma here because he's going to get two. But I mean, what do you do? I mean, you got to play something. It basically, you can't play tabula here because that would give him three banishes on turn two. So you just throw it out there, and I guess the conservative play is don't play anything on turn one, but it's it's hard to do that.
Yeah, but he went first, so you can hope he missed, maybe. Yeah, look, he missed a half miss.
Yeah.
Board control, but not a. Oh,
It's still even now if he has Dominion, he's going to be able to basically still get two units. But there's pretty much no other play I have is basically just to throw him out there and hope for the best. I mean, I could have banked kill switch and played nothing and then magnet him. Maybe that's a better conservative play.
well, don't you need stuff out there to die for magma to be all
No, I
you
can
can be?
still do the one. I can choose damage even if it's he's not or she's not triggered. Um, it doesn't do all three. You get to choose one at least. That would have been the conservative play. I've just been burned so many times with a Steward Dominion play, but they can't always have it. In this case, he didn't, which is good. But you need to get the 2 banishes out there. It's still not enough because we damaged him. So still gonna be able to clear it with Magna.
Hey, do you like the little do you understand, or is it just a glitch sometimes that when I add shields to characters, sometimes they have the shield but you don't see the shield?
Yeah, it's a UI bug right now. You can
Okay.
still see it in the description, but it may not show on the card.
Yeah, I started paying more attention after making a mistake once. Because I saw a card and I'm like, I think that card's normally. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. He's running Treacherous Screaming. Though I don't have anything great for you to take away. I'm surprised that's what you took away. I had a 2-drop that I wasn't probably going to play. Oh, I guess that did put me in an interesting predicament.
Ank's in the chat there. What's going on, Ank?
What's going on, Ink? Good to see you. Talking around. Thanks for asking the few watching to smash the like. Even though we're not playing Splinterlands today. I think I'm going to take the free mana and just run into this guy. Because now I don't have to bank an erasure. But then I don't get a card. What is the right thing to do? I think I'm just going to take advantage of that and keep my erasures in my hand. Because I need one for Mr. Brand when he comes in. Oh, you weren't supposed to have an erasure yourself.
Are you active at all in the Ronin ecosystem, Steve? By any chance?
No, I never got into Axie. I do know the Ronin ecosystem has some interesting possible plays, but I haven't jumped into it at this point. Is there something over there that you're looking at?
Oh no, I was just only brought it up because they just recently did an airdrop to Ronin wallets if you had staked Ronin or had some of their NFT assets. Um, so
Wow, a second treacherous scheming. What a punk. Well, there goes one of my erasures for sure.
this is I don't have any 3-drops out here. That's really bad, and my 2-drop out here is really bad too. Yikes. Man. Going for broke, fellas. We got 2 relics. You either win here or lose here. Thanks asking if I got an airdrop. I have Ronin, but I don't stake Ronin. I'm just getting the Ronin from the ETH and the AXS and the SLP that I've staked. So I didn't get an airdrop, I think. Did not get an airdrop. I guess we have to do this.
This is an interesting game against this Brand Stewart. He's definitely keeping it pretty competitive. I did mill one of his unseen allies, so that's kind of nice to have in my singularity at this point.
Do we have enough? I think we have enough here. I think I can drop the standard bearer down, bank, and then kill box. While that's loading, I'm gonna check really quickly here. I'm curious what the avatar floor is now. Take a look, see. Okay, it came down a little bit. It's 0.779 ETH. So what is that with the current price of ETH? $2,536. That's, I mean, it's $2,000 discount from what it was last week.
Interesting.
So it's not too bad. It could easily go back to that. Especially, yeah. I mean, honestly, if you had dry powder, Steve, not financial advice, but if you had 2,500 in crypto sitting around that wasn't going to 2x in the next month, that could be the play. Because it was there a week ago. And it's likely to get back there and shoot past that in the near term.
It's interesting. So the play with the avatar is it becomes an AI agent that could help me trade crypto and move it around from a lot of places, correct?
Well, the immediate Q1 play is it would get you access to Colony, to be able to play that right away, which you can earn assets on chain in that game. And I believe Colony is, I believe it's Solana based. I could be mistaken, but I believe it's chain is Solana for its assets for some reason. I'm not sure why. And then there's nothing confirmed, but there's been some chatter that they may add utility to the avatars by giving some kind of bonus to prompt, which is the AI Wayfinder token for TGE that's going to be in Q1 as well. I don't know if that'll happen. That would have to be voted on and approved because it's not already in the white paper or anything. But that I could see that definitely potentially happening. I don't know why I say definitely, but I could see that potentially happening because it would just make sense to push asset prices up on Avatar with Colony launch and with the prompt TGE.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting play. Let's see. Go ahead and throw this guy out. He was competitive for a little while, but when New Dawn fights Brand, usually the extra card draw by pulling cards out of your singularity just becomes a little too much for them to handle. Oh, he finally got. What is he going to pull out of his singularity? I didn't remember what he put in there.
I hope he doesn't have DMOC in there.
I don't think he had a DMOC in there. I'm just going to grab this extra banish. I'm going to hit him really hard this turn. Even if he has.
So how are things going out in California, man? Are the
Well, luckily my
things-
house didn't burn to the ground.
yeah,
That's
it's
the main
scary
thing.
stuff, man. Like, how far away is that from you?
Oh, probably like 40, 50 miles. Maybe more. The Pacific Palisades, in like LA. No, it's probably like 100 miles. I'm in the OC.
Okay.
So, the main thing is, like all weekend I hid in my house. I'm an asthmatic. I can't be out in fire, air, smoke. And like it's displaced a bunch of people, and it's just another example. I know people don't like it ever gets political in things, but California has become this place of big government with very high salaries for people that don't do their job very well. They're
Mhm.
talking about this girl who's like the mayor of LA. She gets paid $300,000 a year. She didn't make sure their fire hydrants had water. The fire chief is this person they put in place, and they celebrated her for being the first woman ever in charge. And same thing, no water in the fire hydrants, and it's like we celebrate the wrong things here. In my opinion, I don't mind the idea of women being in these positions, but then when they do a bad job, all of a sudden they don't get called out. I feel like because of that, it's frustrating. And
So how is that going to work from an insurance perspective? Because isn't the insurance like the issue now in California with
well,
so
I mean,
many
some people
companies
had
pulling out?
insurance. Some people had insurance. The people who
Mhm.
got affected, who are really getting kind of the bad end of the stick here, the one thing is, at least they're kind of rich people. Like, it was kind of funny. There was this girl that called out Governor Newsom on the streets of the areas that burnt down, and
Mhm.
I understood how she was upset, but she's like, most of the people in this area, they lost two houses because they were building a new one and living in one.
Mhm.
I was like, I feel so bad for you, but wow, you could own two California houses in that area. Literally, that's like $10 million. So, it's one of those things where, I almost I don't know. It's just one of those things where sometimes I feel like just saying, you guys, you wanted this, right? They made it. Like, the craziest thing about California is just how difficult it is to build things here and to repair things here because of all the lobbying that happens. We've been, there's that stuff in the news where we removed 4 dams from a river up north, making it harder to get water. And it's like you make it harder to get water down here, and then we have this fire. And the other thing is, we have these laws that they passed. The reason we've been having, in my opinion, these crazy fires recently is they passed these laws out here where you can't go out in the forest and chop down dead trees and clear them out.
That seems
You,
counterintuitive.
yeah, and you can't go remove the brush and stuff because some environmentalist groups out here have convinced us that that these places are like that, like it'll hurt the animals, it'll hurt the forest to do this. And it is kind of true that forests do kind of naturally ebb and flow in a way, but I'm like, you're doing this at the sacrifice of people.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is, here the government spends all of our money on we give free Medicare to immigrants. We are sanctuary this, and whether you agree with any of that or not, they're spending all the money on that, and they're not, what do you call it? Upgrading the power infrastructure, the water infrastructure, all the kind of different things that you would need if you're somebody that truly believes in climate change stuff. Because like we had that a lot of the big fires that have been caused because we don't clean up the brush, and then we have power lines that still run through the air on very old, like wooden posts and stuff. And when then it gets windy and those get knocked over, power lines go down, power lines start fires. And so it's just frustrating because we always yell at the wrong people. And then even the people out here who will yell like this is happening because of climate change. I'm like, yeah, well then can you yell at your government to better prepare for the effects of climate change, please? So we'll see. But overall, people are going to get, the government, they've already announced they're going to come in and like give people aid to rebuild and stuff, but it's still going to be really bad. I mean, I feel bad because I know a lot of rich people got caught up in it, but not everyone who got caught up in it is rich. And then a downside is what this is going to do to the California economy. Because, this, just like one story I heard is this landscaper who basically, he didn't live there, but he did landscaping for, 80 houses in that area. And now every one of those houses burnt to the ground. So he has no one to talk to or no one to work for. So he kind of lost his job as well. So, yep. Man, the salaries of the government workers too here. They're talking about like $700,000 a year, $300,000 a year for these people. And I'm like, I don't know, man. That's a lot of money. And the thing is, I think it's kind of like the thing I'm starting to figure out around here is that the way people are able to live here and succeed here is they just work for the government.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all the wages in California are pretty inflated, right? Just because of the cost of living.
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm an IT professional who's been at my job for like 15 years and I make like 120. It's not bad. But I mean, in some places people would think that's a lot, but it costs a lot to live here. So I do own a home out here, and because of the last like 5 years in a row of crazy inflation, it is now $1 million home. But just to make you all, if you're listening, kind of chuckle about that, it's a 1,400 square foot home. That doesn't scream, I think, what most people think of when they think of $1 million home in their head.
Yeah, it's all about location though, right?
Yeah, and I'm not like out on the beach. I'm like maybe 10 miles from the beach or so, though. I'm pretty close, so it's not a bad location. We're inland a decent amount, and we're kind of near the wetlands that the California has, an area that's considered wetlands that the military bases own, because there's these military bases in Long Beach. They're not manned, but they're owned by the government. So there's nothing out there but these like abandoned bases that go up against the water. So apparently back in the day they used to test ammunition there and stuff. So there's all these fields and areas with like these makeshift bunkers and whatnot. It's funny because you can drive by them to get from where we live to Long Beach. And it's just all one big road that goes next to this military base that's basically empty. I mean, California, there's nice things about living out here. We get reasonable weather. Theoretically, you can go skiing and surfing in the same day during some times of the year, which is pretty funny. But, we have Disneyland and all that stuff. Easy access. But we've had one party rule for this a long time, and I feel like they've become a little corrupted, and they just make themselves very, very rich, and then don't really do a lot to prepare the state like they should.
Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my Triumph here.
No, it's okay. We're both playing while we're talking and streaming and stuff, so it's understandable. I got my 5 wins, but I'm going ahead and playing another game because I can knock one of those low earners off if I can get another.
I guess
So
I
did
can
they
do-
change it recently to where you could concede after turn 2 without getting penalized again? Because
Yes.
I remember on one of your streams I was saying that's the way it used to be, and you were like, "No, it's not. Watch." And I was, "Oh crap, it's not." And I'm like, "When did they change that?"
Yeah, it might have been a UI bug, but you can concede now after your, I think, turn 2
Yeah.
without penalty.
Being a Lemmy deck. We'll see. He didn't get as good of a start as most Lemmy decks get that beat me, so maybe he doesn't have those cards. Or he just didn't pull them. A turn 1 trigger Happy Trooper is an interesting play. I guess it is a turn 1 2/2. But from a Lemmy deck, it's probably the least scary thing I want to see come out on turn 1.
Solid card. It's good statted with the assault trigger.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one that gets bigger with spells. Oh man, he had a mercenary gunslinger. Oh wait, why did he do that? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. He could have just pot shotted my embedded agent, but instead he shot my 2/3, so he 2 drop so that he could trade a 1 for a 2. That's an interesting play. Darn, I have nothing to do on turn 3. I mean, I don't think I should waste an erasure on a 1 drop. I guess I could just put out my New Dawn. I don't think he can deal 6 damage to it without targeting it with only a mercenary gunman on the board. What do you think of Take It or Leave It? Is it worth it to run it in a Shroud deck, in your opinion?
Neve for sure. New Dawn and Brand. I mean, it can help you get DMOC early, but you can't bank it now. So I would say Neve, yes. The others,
Yeah, because like the
probably
thing
not.
that since it's lost its bankability, it's nerfed that card so much in my deck because now I actually am upset when I get it sometimes. And I know that's not the point of that card, you know? But it's like when you get it early and you don't have anything to ramp to, um, because you just don't see a reason to use it. It's such a bummer, and then you got to work around the fact that you can't bank the card.
Yeah, and if you hold it too long, the later stages of the game, it may not be as useful.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
found it
depends on the
somewhat
draw.
useful sometimes with the New Dawn because sometimes there'll be like a turn 4 or 5 where I want to play a card that costs 4 or 5, but I've got my guy on the board, so I'm a mana short. So then you can use it, and those are probably the times I've had like the best experience with it. Okay, I want this PSA launcher. Man, a couple like not recently, but maybe a couple weeks ago, I had to stop playing for a couple days because they put out an update that completely broke the New Dawn. It was disgusting.
Yeah, you couldn't play out of the singularity. It would time out and draw random stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And I was just like, this
Yeah.
is ridiculous. You know, I'd be like, the card I need to win is sitting right there. but I can't get it.
Yeah.
It's like I was losing games where I'm like, this is just dumb.
Yep. It was tough times for New Dawn there.
That was also to boot when the broken Lemmy deck was all over the place.
Oh, it wasn't the Lemmy deck that was broken, it was the Kathy
Right.
deck.
Oh no, the Kathy. No, but some people were running it with Lemmy too, because
Mhm.
it's the same kind of deck, with just those armored battle ready people. But I guess
Mhm.
having Kathy come in and just wreak havoc as well was quite bothersome.
All right. Well, he's not going to like me when I do this, but
Your opponent isn't supposed to like you.
that's true. I guess I forgot this as Defender too. How many defenders does he have? As Defender 2. Oh, he's got 5 upgrades, 1 damage. Oh my goodness. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, do you not run into those Augencore decks that often?
I just had to check the upgrades on it to make sure it wasn't like upcycled or something.
I guess
With
you don't really
upgrades.
care. Gosh, you have that guy he's got 9 attack. Oh, you
I guess he
killboxed.
had 2. Yeah, the
Right.
problem is he had I didn't see he had two of that upgrade. So that's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah, you lost 3 of your attackers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Please pop, yay. I was like, he's gonna kill me just by doing nothing, just by putting out a whole bunch of cards that do nothing.
Yeah. It's a little swarm. And I just got rid of my saboteur. Whoopsie.
All right, I wiped his board all the way down to 2 little 1/1s. We'll see if that gets him to give up. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and you had another one of those guys? That's not fair. That's going to give you another character. Only I'm supposed to get lots of extra characters, you chump.
Interesting.
Huh, I wonder what he has here. Oh, wow. He got Wong. That's annoying. Wow, and he got to draw 4 cards off of his Wong? That was insane. He's 8-8?
I can only draw 3 max. Oh, he's got upcycle technology. That's not good. Here comes board clear. That sucks.
I stand watch.
Oh, he's not going to board clear. Well, then he just lost. There he goes.
Singularity stands.
Gavin, what's going on? Welcome to the stream.
Oh,
Just doing some battles here with my buddy Steve, who's streaming on YouTube. Just kind of talking shop as we're doing some grinding here. How are you doing today?
oh my gosh, what a neutron bomb. He's going to wipe my board. Oh, he finally got his artifact. That's interesting. That could be trouble.
All right, as long as this guy doesn't like draw top deck upcycled, right? We're good, right?
The fleet shall triumph.
Man, what was I thinking? Banking my collateral damage against a Lemmy deck.
Don't do it.
Get off my ship.
Lemmy
little
doesn't have a
wild, but
board
we
wipe,
gotta
right?
come. He does. He has Rend from Earth, which is the
Oh.
5 cost 3 damage. They have artillery volley. So yeah, I guess you have kind of two board wipes.
I did get a little lucky and top decked a good card. I had to leave my my new Dawn outside of the Singularity though, in case he killed my Sacred Siphoner, because otherwise it would have made me. You know, it's really stupid. He's a 3-cost card. If you think you got forced to put him into your hand from your Singularity, it would let you do that, and then you just have to play him. But instead, it destroys him.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Okay. So we're going.
What you can also do, Steve, is if you haven't enabled your data sharing, you can connect to, I think it's Parallel Stats, I believe. And you can track your win rates with the different paragons in your decks. Does it for you, so you kind of see how you're rolling. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it keeps track of your last 100 games. It gives you a win rate across any decks or paragons that you play.
Oh, that's interesting. What time is it? 8:40. I might have made a mistake in this game just now,
The fleet shall try.
but we'll see what happens. He's almost out of cards, though. Oh, he actually was holding one of those. This is going to be a close game. He's got me down to 6. Do they have a 6 damage card in their hand? I think they do, don't they?
If he pulls a APC, he's gonna do 3 more damage, right?
Well, I think all his other APCs are gone. Oh, that's an interesting card for him to have in his hand. Oh, okay, good. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, what do you
This is
know?
pretty close there.
Huh. Gosh, I don't have any way to banish him this turn, which is a bummer. What do I want to do here? If I kill him, he gets to play it again. So I think that's the only card I don't want to kill. Gosh, that puts me down to 3. I'm so gonna die. Oh, he can still play it on his turn anyways, damn it. What was I thinking? I'm gonna die. Oh yeah, that card kills me. What a terrible loss that was. Well, I still think I might just end it there. That was very sad. I just kept not getting cards I needed. But we've been streaming for a while. Thank you for anybody that came over, checked out my YouTube for a minute. That was pretty nice of you. Thanks for the guys still watching. I think I'm going to end the stream. My headset's about to die, and it was a lot of fun just chatting about the game. So thank you for that, guys. All right, I am no longer